that skill and ability, that talent to lead. And so I think as we get to know each other more and more, those guys will rise to the top.
Hey, Pat, as you watch tape during these 6 months, what stood out to you when you watched Joe Thomas?
Well, Joe's obviously one of the finer left tackles in the business. Very, very good pass protector. I guess what impressed me is I think he's a fine run blocker as well. Typically, typically you find guys that are good at one and average at others, or good, bad, whatever. But I think Joe is good in both phases, extremely good.
And what makes him good? His feet or what?
Yeah, I think he's big. He's got long arms. He's got good feet. He's got balance and body control. He has pretty good power for a guy that's a tackle, and he has a feel for the game. So, usually what makes a player good is kind of a combination, and he's blessed with a lot of those things.
Did the new practice rules present any new hardships for the way you wanted to run camp? How much re-scripting did you do?
Well, we had to make some adjustments. We typically, most teams in the mornings will have a practice between 2 and 2.5, 3 hours. Most teams do that, so that's not all that different. This practice is probably, we stretched it out just a couple of minutes to make it the proper length. But this is typical of what you'll see, whether they're in pads or not. The change for us was the afternoon sessions. We had some more little full speed type drills. We call them 10-10-10s, and then dedicated special teams periods. Now what ends up happening is that we got to do those in walkthrough mode. So the pace, we'll get the same thing done, but the pace will be different.
What have you seen that's kind of assuring, or maybe that's a problem? The new offense, you would think McCoy would fit pretty well in it. It's similar to what he did at Texas.
Yeah.
Could you discuss that a bit?
What I'm concerned about?
Or either way, pluses and minuses.
Yeah, I don't.
From what you've seen on the film.
I think the guys we got on this team have a chance to execute our offense, and so that doesn't concern me. I feel good about the talent we're starting with, So right now, maybe what concerns me is a better question for about 3 weeks from now,
In fact, getting Jimmy Mitchell signed, how much of a priority was that?
No, that was a big signing. I think we feel like he's a terrific pass rusher. The guys that were here last year, that I had a chance to watch some practice snaps. He didn't play much in games, but we feel like he's got a chance to be what a defensive end is in this league, and so we're glad that he'll be with us.
Right on. What did you like best? Was it decision making or accuracy?
Oh, on Colt. Yeah, no, I thought he did a good job. There's a couple of things today that when we watch the film here at 4, I think you'll learn from, and there was a couple of plays out there where he did the right thing, but he could have done something a little more right, I'll say. And he immediately knew it. So when I approached him to tell him, hey, he said, I know, I got it. And I said, well, you'll see it at 4.
Is Jamie Mitchell left hand?
Yeah, we'll play him. Yeah, probably left end right now.
You expect him in today?
You know what? I'm going to get a little bit of an update on that. I'm sure there's a lot that's gone on since we came out here.
Yeah, did it feel, this is your first practice as a head coach, did it feel different to you personally than all your other quarterback coaches?
Yeah, I was able to move around more of the field than I normally did, which was fun. But practicing, once you get into the practice and you get through the individual and you get to the team phases, I felt like I was standing in about the same spot.
I don't know if you were aware, but the Camp Mangini, they had music just blasting. I know the media was probably pretty happy to hear silence when we got here. Did you have a philosophy on that? It was intended to simulate, crowd noise or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's benefit to doing that, and there'll be times when we use noise, and typically what we'll do is we'll probably practice inside, but there's a reason for it, and we'll do it at times, but I don't do that all the time.
The wide receivers, a lot of question marks about either the inexperience or lack of production. Your offense supposedly is going to bring more out of them. How do you feel about the receivers moving forward, and do you think you maybe need to add a veteran?
I don't know about that. You know, again, that's maybe a little better question for later in the week. I think when I looked at the receivers and just as a unit, really got pretty good size, big guys, you know, and I saw, except for a couple of occasions today, a couple of misfires, a couple of drops, but for the most part, I thought they did a decent job catching the ball. So I'll say that about them. And then, you know, as we get, I get a better feel for the receivers and who they are. You know, I think I'll have a better idea. But no, they did a good job today.
Two more guys.
Pat, you finally get started today, but some of the free agents you guys signed aren't allowed to practice.
Yeah.
Is it difficult to adjust for those guys who aren't able to get going right away?
No, you know, a lot of those guys are veteran players, and they know how to respond to change, and they've been in the meetings. They did a good job of watching all the team drills, and, you know, they'll find a way to get themselves some exercise here, I'm sure, so that they can stay somewhat physically ready. So you'd love to have your whole team out here all the time, you know, and so at some point we will.
So Massaquoi's foot is in a cast.
Right.
It's more than day to day, isn't it?
Well, I would say, yeah, I don't know. He's in a to protect, you know, and kind of get him where he needs to be.